Oh, this is not what I thought it was. Oh, this is what I thought it was. I need to trim that front. Anyway, you ready? Nope, that's not what I thought it was. Anyway, you ready to roll, Noah?
Yeah.
Hell, okay. Hello, DJs. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the perfect one, AJ. Joining me, as always, man with the number, sportsbook whisperer, college basketball guru, daddy of the diamond, all hail, the king of the links, the money train, Noah. Happy college football Saturday, bud. And sorry about that. Sorry about that music there. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was a different file. That was from back in college, honestly, for when I was in film school and I needed what was it, undertone or under background music. And I thought I found a different one, and the file must have been the same, and that was weird. Anyway, how you doing today, bud?
I'm good, man. Hey, it's college game day. I am ready for another full day of college football here.
Yeah, full day of college football. We've got game day going on. Some bum in don't get me wrong, I wear some shorts that are above the knee, no, but these look a little too short for me, and we're going to see if he can kick. He looks like a kicker, so I'll give him that credit, but we'll see how.
I mean, he's dressed entirely SEC frat, so
You're right. It's SEC frat. I forgot they're in Oklahoma.
Got that haircut that I like to call the mop top that all the kids have nowadays.
I haven't heard that, but I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we'll see. I think he probably makes it. I feel like people are getting really good. Not like they expect this. And so, like, these kids are out here, like, practicing, making sure.
Oh, is that short? Nah, he nailed it.
Yeah, they're out here making sure they can make a 30-yard field goal. He's got cleats on. He knows what's up.
He was ready. He was ready. Shout out to that kid. Drinks on him tonight. That's for damn sure. That's awesome. Anyway, Noah, we've got an hour until we've got kickoff going. You ready to go ahead and jump into? We're going to do our slate, so the games that you pick out for us every week, and our picks and breakdown on that, and then rapid fire through the top 25 games going on today to wrap it up. And yes, there will be some overlap, but it's our show. We're going to do whatever the hell we want. So you ready to roll with it, dude?
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. And like the great host I am, I didn't have the first game pulled up. So let me get that pulled up. There we go. Noah, let's get our Saturday started with Illinois and Duke. Duke, 2.5-point home dogs here, plus 115 on the money line. 49 is the total getting into this one. Public is kind of liking how the Blue Devils are playing football to start the year. 60% of the bets, 46% of the money coming in on Duke. Noah, what do you like in this one?
Yeah, I think the public's bet this down a little bit. I want to say this opened at about 3.5, 4. Now down to 2.5. I know Duke is the home team here, but at the end of the day, Duke's shown a little bit of promise for me earlier, in the early parts of this season, as young as it is. However, I gotta say, man, I mean, Illinois has got a number next to their name and Duke doesn't, for a reason. This Brent Bielema squad is going to be probably the best one yet since he's taken over as head coach at Illinois. And if they're going to live up to that, that's going to include winning road games and winning road games in tough environments. I don't know how tough Duke is on a scale of 1 to 10 environment wise, but I think Illinois has no problem covering the spread in this one.
I mean, yeah, shout out to Duke. They did beat Elon. I mean, a dub's a dub. I'll give them that. But this isn't college basketball, and so I don't know if I trust Elon in football. Mr. Bombay in the chat, by the way. How you doing, bud? Good morning, and good luck to you as well. But no, I really like what you're saying about Illinois, Noah. Like you said, Bielema, this does seem like Bielema's team. He finally has his guys in there, his culture in there. Love Illinois minus the 2.5. I'm flirting with the under. Like, I'm thinking about buying the under a drink, and maybe winking at it and seeing where things go. That's just kind of where I'm sitting. I don't know.
So you don't love your chances, but you're going to go for it anyways.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, this probably isn't going to go well. I've had too many beers to, like, pull this off, but, hey, we're going to send a drink down and see how it goes. So I'm flirting with the under.
All
That's how we're
right.
gonna start. That's how we're gonna start it, dude. What do we got next on the slate? What do we got now, dude? Okay, I always forget, Noah, and it usually does take me until about week 2 to remember. But you always just pick out a great slate, so I did just want to give you credit for that. I opened it up
Appreciate it.
and I was like, damn, this is like, if we're talking college football, this is the college football we want to talk about. And of course, my lovely app. There we go. Baylor, SMU, number 17, SMU coming in. 3-point favorites here. It is at even money right now here at Caesars. Make sure you shop your lines. Money line sitting at minus 145. 65.5 is the total here, Noah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Public is loving Baylor today. You're looking at 55% of the bets, 83% of the money coming in on Baylor. And don't get me wrong, I'm not hyped on SMU. I didn't see, they lost a little bit of that spark with Jackson Darts, and that does happen a lot of times with these schools when they lose those, high end. What?
Jackson Dart went to Ole Miss.
He went to Ole Miss. I'm sorry. Those fucking colors sometimes. Those fucking colors sometimes. I'm sorry, Noah. I'm still getting over being sick, so that sick brain's still kicking in. Anyway, it doesn't change where I'm going here. I think Baylor's a good team. I think SMU's got that firepower behind it. Give me SMU minus the 2.5, and I'll go ahead and fade the public a little bit to start the day.
Yeah, man, I would have loved to have taken Baylor in this one on the road. I know there was a lot of hype surrounding Baylor coming into the season, but I mean, let's be honest. If you watched the Baylor-Auburn game last week, that defense wasn't stopping a goddamn thing. And Sawyer Robertson, that Baylor offense, I think maybe fell a little bit shy of expectations, but not by a huge margin. But man, if their defense is going to look like it did last week, I mean, SMU is going to be running through them for 8 to 10 yards a carry, and it's going to be game over because that offense against a respectable SMU defense is not going to be able to score enough points. This is a better SMU team than Auburn is this year, in my opinion. And again, if Baylor struggled at home against Auburn, now they're going to go on the road against SMU. Granted, not a ton of travel there. I think it's just a couple-hour drive between, I want to say maybe 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours between Waco.
Everything is so far in fucking Texas, it doesn't really matter.
No, but it's less, it's less than a 3-hour drive.
You're right, yes.
So it's not like it's a huge travel. Texas, you can have an 8 to 10 hour difference or more. But this one, two cities that are not super far apart, but still, you had a home game against Auburn. Couldn't show up to that. Now you're playing what should be a tougher SMU team in front of their home crowd. Give me SMU. Give me the over, though. I think SMU, if Baylor's defense does not look any improved, is putting up 40, 50 points, and Baylor is going to be able to answer at least 2/3 of that.
I don't hate that. I'll be honest. I don't hate that. And going back to the Baylor's defense real quick, if there was any week that Baylor's defense should have looked really good, it should have been last week, with Auburn going with 3 different quarterbacks, 3 different play callers, trying to find out who they're going to kind of go with this season. And the fact that they let everyone just kind of do what they want, that scares me a little bit. So
they couldn't stop the run for shit.
No, my God, no. Oh my God.
And that's why I'm saying, if we see the same thing, SMU, who not only has good running backs, but who has a quarterback who can definitely beat you with his legs. That's why I say, like, if nothing's improved, SMU's running for an average of 8 to 10 yards a carry in this one, and it's going to be another ugly day in the office for Baylor.
Yeah. Shout out Baylor. Anyway, Road Dog in the chat. What is good? QCJ from San Andreas. Love it. Let's get on to the next game on the slate. Iowa State, number 16, Iowa State coming in. 3-point favorites at home, minus 170 on the money line. 43 is the total. 55% of the bets, 47% of the money coming in on Iowa State. So you are getting a little bit more bigger money coming in on Iowa at that 3.5, depending on what you're seeing the line at. Shop your lines. I get it. Iowa State. Iowa does appear to have figured out what a forward pass is, so I do want to congratulate them on that. With that being said, Iowa State is still a couple steps ahead of them and will remain a couple steps ahead of them. Playing at home, give me Iowa State minus that 3 all day long. And I'm going to stay off the under. Go.
Yeah, this is a fun rivalry.
Yeah.
Love the Cyhawk rivalry. Iowa State currently in possession of the trophy for this rivalry. I think it's going to stay with Iowa State in Ames. I just think they're a much better team than Iowa is right now. They got it done on the road last year. I think they get it done at home this year. I don't really have a problem with the 3 points. I do think this game's going to be tight because it is one of those hard-fought rivalry games, but I'm okay with the 3 even and knowing that may push.
Fair. And Iowa State, I mean, a 3-point game, it would not shock anyone, I don't think, at all. Let's keep it moving. Noah, next up on the docket, we've got... I need to switch sports books. I feel like I go through that about once a football season where I get fed up with the book I'm using. But anyway, Virginia, NC State. NC State 3-point favorites here, minus 145 on the money line. 54 is the total here. Dude, I don't know, man. I feel like every single year we're sold a bill of goods on NC State that NC State can rarely back up. And the
hype wasn't as much this year.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. But there was still hype there. Not as much, but there was still hype on the train for NC State. And I'm turned off by it, man. Wasn't very impressed with what they did last week. And I got to say, I liked how Virginia performed last week. I liked how their offense looked. I think that defense is solid. Give me Virginia on the money line here, plus 122. I'll take points if I got to take points, but I think Virginia goes ahead and walks into NC State, keeps this one close all the way through, and pulls away at the end.
Yeah, oh man, this is a game I could see going either way here. Yeah. If I'm being honest, I think for me it's going to ultimately boil down to home team for NC State. I do think NC State's maybe a team that I expect maybe to come a little bit short of expectations. Virginia, I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing out of them, and I do think they're going to be much improved this year as a whole. I do think they're going to have a true puncher's chance in this game going into NC State, but I'm going to ride with the home team here just because I do think this is such an even game. This would be a fun one. I probably would be on Virginia by a hair if this was played at a neutral site. But being played in North Carolina, we're going to ride with NC State on that one at the 2.5, 3 points.
Okay, I get where you're coming from there. Interesting with the public here, 35% of the bets, 51% of the money coming in on Virginia. And so a lot of people, the public does like, NC State, but the money is,
interesting,
leaning in a little bit.
Yeah, so you got the heavies on Virginia.
Heavies coming in, pushing that line. I can't find this fucking game. What is wrong with me today, dude? I'm out of practice. That's what it is.
Yeah, probably.
But hey, we will adapt, overcome, and be better next time. Ole Miss, Kentucky, number 20. Ole Miss coming in. 9-point favorites on the road here to Kentucky, minus 345 on the money line. 50.5 is the total, Noah. What are you seeing in this one?
What I'm seeing in this one is I've got a weird suspicion that Kentucky might be a sneaky pick to cover the spread in this one. Do I think Kentucky's going to have much of a chance at winning this? Probably not. They really shouldn't. This is going to be a big benchmark this season for, does Ole Miss live up to the hype or do they not? Right? Like, I know they lost Jackson Dart, but they're still expected to be a very good team with Lane Kiffin at the helm there. This is going to be a huge benchmark. Do they live up to the hype? Do they not live up to the hype? And for Kentucky, I don't really expect a whole lot out of them. I mean, that game was a little messy against Toledo last week, but almost the entirety of the MAC looked really good and held their own and covered spreads. Yeah. Most of them did. I'm going to buy into the hype. I'm going to ride with Ole Miss and the 9 points on this one. If it were at 10, I might be on the other side of it, but we'll ride with it. But I am kind of cautious with this pick. I'm going to go under the 50.5 though, and just say this is a little bit of a slower, messier game.
I've been flip-flopping on this one, I'm not going to lie, all week. I don't want to buy into the hype with Ole Miss. I don't want to buy into the hype with Kentucky, but just from the eye test, Ole Miss looked more like a football team last week than Kentucky did at the end of the day. And so I'm going to roll the dice with Ole Miss on this one, minus the 10.5. And I'm rationalizing it by saying Kentucky got an extra 3 points, and so it should be at 13.5. And so actually we're getting a good price on this at 9, 10.5. That's how I'm rationalizing it in my head. But yeah, that's where I'm going to sit at there. Not a big fan of this pick, but hey, that's what we get paid no bucks to do, Noah.
All right.
All right, let's get it moving. Noah, see, this is the bullshit I'm dealing with. Go to the fucking game. Where's the game? What game?
AJ's getting tripped up because they're trying to force feed him pre-made parlays.
They're trying to get me on these damn parlays. And you and I both know, I will say they did feed me one. I was putting in a couple of futures parlays, like for conference winners, division winners in the NFL. And there was a couple they force fed me that I was like, you know, if I had a couple more beers in me, I may take a look at this, but I don't have a couple more beers in me. So shout out to the sports books, though. They are getting more convincing. Kansas, Missouri. Missouri, 5.5 point favorites here at home. 49.5 is the total, minus 210 on the money line here, Noah. I will say, shout out to Kansas. They didn't do the Kansas thing I thought they were going to do, which is lose in their brand new, beautiful stadium. And the public seems to have noticed with how they played with Jalen, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Jalen Daniels under center again. 56% of the bet, 75% of the money coming in at the 5.5. Line opened up at 6.5. So line movement's moving healthy, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing. A lot of hype behind Kansas. And Rock Chalk, baby. Give me KU money line. I think they go ahead and win this game outright. I think I truly think the SEC is weaker this year. And I think KU is going to go ahead and send them back with their tail between their legs. Or they're going to, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. No. This is a really tough one for me. I'm not going to lie. This week, and not so much on the spread. I'm all over Kansas plus 6.5 on this one. I think that's a very reasonable good bet. But if you're talking outrights, and I do have Kansas going in and winning the border war outright against Mizzou. I think Mizzou's a very respectable team. I don't really have much bad to say about them. I think they could easily work their way into the rankings at some point this season, or not. You never know with the SEC gauntlet. Kansas is getting more hype than I would like them to through 2 games of playing nobody. But yes, they've looked really good playing
nobody,
much inferior opponents. But it kind of feels like the Kansas that I was expecting to see last year, and then we didn't see until about the second half of the season, when all of a sudden they decided to just go on a tear of just ruining people's seasons.
That was awesome.
But then they got spanked by Baylor and didn't make a bowl game regardless. If you take out that Baylor game, I mean, Kansas's last 7 games without that have looked pretty dang good. I'm going to bank on the fact that Kansas is like shaken all that rust or whatever the hell you want to call it off, and they're on the right path. I do have a lot of faith in head coach Lance Leipold, and so I am on Kansas plus 6.5. I'm also going to sprinkle the money line. I'm not going to hit that money line hard on this one.
Does Mizzou's 11-game home winning streak concern you at all?
Not really. I mean, this is a tough. It's a rivalry. It's a rivalry environment. These two teams do hate each other, even though I don't know why the fuck they don't play every year. But hey, we're renewing a rivalry here. I expect it to be tough, and usually in those games, it feels like the score is generally close. Like we don't see a ton of blowouts in a lot of these. I'm going over 50.5 in this one as well.
I love that. I'll co-sign that.
Again, I'm not going to be shocked if Mizzou wins this game, but again, I think Kansas is going to be fully in that game and have an opportunity to win it.
Love it. Absolutely love it, Noah. Rock, Chalk, Jayhawks. Let's go. Next game on our slate, Noah, we've got Miami, Ohio, and Rutgers. Rutgers, 14.5-point favorites at home, minus 600 on the money line. 45 is the total, Noah. Break it down for me. What are we looking for?
I mainly put this one on the slate just to take another jab at and to disrespect Rutgers.
I loved it. I thought that's why you put it on the slate. I'm glad that you confirmed. Thank you, Noah.
Yeah. And I know Miami, Ohio had checks notes 0 points last week against Wisconsin. Whatever. That game was 3-0 at halftime. And, we had a whole slew of MAC teams playing Big Ten teams in Big Ten team stadiums. And almost all of them covered.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're looking at here. Rutgers only winning by 3 points, of course, last week against they play Ohio.
Yes. Ohio, like real Ohio.
Yeah. Who Ohio coming off back 10-win seasons, whatever. That was the easiest spread of week 1 for me personally. I have zero faith in Ethan Kaliak-Manis because as a Minnesota fan, I have watched Ethan Kaliak-Manis play far too many games than he should have ever played in college football to begin with. Now he's Rutgers' problem. I think Miami, Ohio's got a really tough defense. I know they put up 0 points against Wisconsin. I would be willing to bet money they're putting up more than 0, and I do think they're going to be able to hold Rutgers to a pretty low point total. So 14.5, 15.5, depending on where you got it. I got no problem riding Miami, Ohio to cover.
Yeah, I got them earlier in the week at 16.5, and I absolutely love that number, but I still love it at 15, 14, whatever you're looking at your book. Dare I, buy to drink a little bit, I feel like this one, maybe 2 drinks, Noah. Let's start the night. You know what I mean? I enter the bar and I sit down and I'm like, damn, let's go ahead and hey, I'll take one and she'll take one. You know what I mean?
You could.
That's a juicy number.
I also love the under 45.5 in this one too, because I just
for sure. Field goal fest this is going to be, if there's field goals. Oh man, give me the under. I love college football so much. I love college football. Come on, there we. Nope. They're doing it to me again, Noah.
You didn't love Miami, Ohio so much you put it on a shirt?
I think you and I both know what's on a shirt this week, Noah. We'll get to that. I think you and I both know what's on the shirt, Noah. Oh, man. I had to double check because when we got to KU, I was like, oh, shit, wait a minute. And so I had to double check. But no, you and I both know what's going on that shirt, Noah. We will get to that in a very short moment. What game are we talking about next? That's the one we're talking about. I can't freaking find it. There we go. Shit. USF going into Florida, into Gainesville. 18-point favorites. The Gators are minus 900 on the money line. 57 is the total, Noah. USF looked solid last week.
Yeah, they did.
I was a fan of how they looked. Granted, maybe the other team isn't as good as everyone thought they were going to be. But
Boise played last night and looked just fine. So yeah,
true. First week, rust, whatever you want to say, I'm fine with it. But But this Florida squad, I mean, what do you want me to say, Noah? They looked solid enough. I think they're a good team, but this is a lot of points, and it feels like a lot of points. But one thing that I always have to remind myself in college football, especially in college sports, you got to be comfortable with uncomfortable numbers, Noah. The fact that 69% of the bets and 67% of the money is coming in on USF to cover the 18. I think the public is buying in a little too much to that Boise State game. Give me Florida to cover minus the 18. Might buy it down to 17.5. I don't think it'll do me much good, but might just do it to save me a hook.
Yeah, I'm surprised this line hasn't moved a ton despite the news yesterday that South Florida's quarterback will be out the first half of the game due to violating school rules. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not, but but I'm even questioning then why the line hasn't moved down at all and why it's staying at 17.5, 18 with all this money coming in. The book must love where this line's at if they're not moving it.
Reportedly, he was out past curfew at a frat party, comes back to the dorm or hotel room or whatever the hell, and coach is waiting in the lobby.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're USF starting quarterback. Going to be missing for the first half. He should be returning in the second half, but I have an inkling this game might be over by halftime, so it might not even matter here. I think it is a big spread, but I think I'm going to ride it on Florida on the road. If USF does, or Florida at home, sorry, never mind. If USF, I think if they want to have a legitimate shot at earning one of those 12 designated seeds in the playoffs, they're going to need to pull off a win against either Florida or Miami next week. So one of these two, they're going to need a statement win. I don't think the Boise win is going to be enough for USF. So, it would go a huge way to putting them as the favorite to get that group of 5 bid if they can pull off something against Florida or Miami next week. I don't think I really don't think it happens at all here against Florida in Gainesville.
No, Florida's going to properly put belt to ass. Excited about that. Shout out to Road Dogg. USF is going to get clapped. I love it. Anyway, moving on to the next game, Noah, we've got Army, Kansas State. Kansas State coming into this one, 17-point favorites, minus 800 on the money line. 47.5 is the total with Avery Johnson led Kansas State, Noah. I hate all of my websites today. I feel like the internet's just out to get me today. Army, 68% of the bets, 52% of the money coming in on Army over K-State here, Noah. Do you trust Avery Johnson? Do you trust this offense? Or are you going to go with the service members?
Oh, I'm entirely fading Kansas State here. Not because I have a ton of faith in Army this year, but K-State should have probably lost last week. They should probably be 0-2, and that was to North Dakota, not North Dakota State, as when we did our week 1 picks that ESPN, when I was putting that slate together, tried to fool me by putting the wrong graphic and the wrong team up there. I'm not stupid. ESPN just led me a fucking stray. I should stop looking at ESPN and look at other things. Anyways, Kansas probably should have lost to North Dakota. And that's University of North Dakota.
Yeah.
They pulled one out of their ass, came back, won that game in the very end. But you're telling me K-State deserves to be a 17-plus point favorite against anybody right now?
And confirmed, running back Dylan Edwards for K-State will miss the game with an ankle injury. Second straight game.
And I'm going to keep banging the same drum I've been banging since the beginning of last season, and that's that Avery Johnson is extremely overrated. I don't know what people are seeing with him. I get that there's raw talent there, but he seems to be developing really slowly and not getting to this point that people think he's going to be at. And he just doesn't take care of the ball, turns it over too much for me, doesn't make the best decisions either. And until K-State can, blow somebody out, if they blow out Army by 40 points, okay, I'll give them some graces when we do, next time they show up in our picks on our slate. But until that happens, I'm not laying 18 points on K-State against anybody.
No, absolutely not. Army plus the points all day for me as well. Love it, Noah. Let's keep it moving. Oh yeah, baby. Let's go. Number 12, Arizona State University getting some SEC action early here against Mississippi State and them cowbells, Noah, because I got a fever and the only cure is more cowbell. Prescription. Fuck. It's early. Mississippi State 6.5-point dogs at home, plus 196 on the money line. 58.5 is the total. My big thing with ASU is they looked the same as they did last year, minus a good running back. And that's not going to be a long-term formula for success. I think what you said about Avery Johnson and his development can be echoed and said about Sam Leavitt and how he's developing as a quarterback. I think Ken Dillingham is still a great football coach and will have these guys ready for everything. But Noah, today, as it stands, I do think ASU is going to take their first loss of the season on the road to an SEC school, to Mississippi State, and them cowbells. Noah, you know I had to do it to them. Give me Mississippi State. Money line. Liked it so much, I had to put it on a shirt. Fuck ASU. Fuck Sparky. It's been a fun ride, seriously. And, as just an Arizona sports fan, I'm glad that an Arizona team was represented in the college football playoff last year, but it was a fantasy and we all knew it was a fantasy, and they were, just enjoying the ride. They were playing with house money last year. Well, the house has come to collect, and that is what's being told to me with this Mississippi State game. Mississippi State on the money line all day long. Thank you very much. See you at the cashier counter, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Last year, Cam Scadaboo was that offense. He was that offense. And, you mentioned Leavitt and made a comparison to Avery Johnson. I think I could say Leavitt's just Avery Johnson without the ceiling and the freak athletic ability.
Yeah.
Which is crazy that he's been being talked about as a potential first-round pick in the NFL draft. I think he's going to get exposed for not being very good this season, and he'll probably be returning to ASU next year because he's going to be projected a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick maybe by the time it's all said and done.
Yeah.
And it's not there. You win by 17 points against NAU in a game that wasn't even like NAU scored a garbage time touchdown to make it a 17-point game. It was ASU, and at that point, I don't even know if you call it garbage time when you're only up 10 in the fourth quarter against NAU. And, before anybody tries to come at me and say, well, a couple years ago, U of A lost to NAU. That's right. We fucking did. And
then, we did. We suck. We admit that we suck at football. We are a basketball school.
Well, not always, but,
not always. Fuck Jed Fish, by the way.
There was a 4 or 5 year dark period in there where we just...
Shout out Rich Rod.
Yeah, well, Rich Rod kind of got that going, and then Sumlin really drove the nail.
Really? Holy shit, dude. Talk about a bad head coach. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, on this, I don't think Mississippi State's very good, and I do think there are a lot of good pieces with ASU. I did enjoy the fact that they dropped in the rankings after winning week 1. Always good to see. Keep those bitches out of the top 10 because they don't deserve to be there. I don't think they deserve to be in the top 15. Probably I'd stretch it even to the top 20. If I had to put my personal rankings, I'd have ASU right around 22, 23. I do think it's enough to get it done and cover a 6.5-point spread on the road at Mississippi State. I don't see a scenario where ASU loses this game as much as I wish that would happen. So I am going to ride with the Scum Devils here minus 6.5.
Road Dog agrees with you. ASU better in the trenches than Mississippi State. That's fine. I mean, we'll talk Monday.
They're playing probably the worst team in the SEC.
Exactly. But I think the worst team in the SEC would perform better than ASU did against against NAU. That was bad. Like, that was bad football by ASU. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
maybe NAU's in for just a real rock star season.
They're about to rock the Mountain West to the core, brother. They're about to rock them. Are they in
Well,
the mountain? No, Sky.
no,
They're in the Sky Valley, right?
I
High
think
Sky or something like that.
Big Sky is what you're looking
Big Sky. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you, Noah. Thank you very much. Anyway,
Yeah,
keeping
always good to see ASU. Only beat an FCS team by 17.
innovating new
Road
ways to
Dog, I
win
did not
games.
watch any of the game against Southern Miss because I was not by any means using my college football Saturday to tune into Mississippi State Southern Miss. But I will take any report on that you may have.
Shout out to Road Dog, always keeping us honest. Always keeping us honest. Love you, Road Dog. Let's keep it moving. Noah, game day is there in Oklahoma, Michigan, Oklahoma, 15 versus 18 coming into this one. And you got Oklahoma favored here by 5 points at home, minus 210 on the money line. 44 is the total. This is the last game Sharon Moore will be coaching before he is suspended for 2 random games in the middle of the season.
That's
Because
convenient.
that makes sense.
That's convenient.
Why those games? Anyway, Public loves Michigan at the 5.5. 60% of the bet, 73% of the money line does have some movement from 2.5 to 5.5. So you are seeing maybe a little reverse line movement there. I don't know, man. I can't really get a read on this game. I don't believe Oklahoma's good. I don't think Michigan's all the way back, but I don't know. What are you seeing on this one?
Well, AJ, I'm glad you asked here because this is my dog of the week. This is my dog of the week. I think Michigan goes in on game day into Norman, takes care of business, wins this one outright. They might win by maybe 2 touchdowns in this one. I really think Michigan is so much more of a complete team than Oklahoma is. I think Oklahoma's got a lot of really talented pieces,
Sure.
and maybe even certain pieces that are more individually talented than Michigan. But Michigan's so much more complete of a team. They're so much deeper. If you start getting into the not the deep bench, but just into the subs for a lot of positions, who are going to be playing meaningful snaps in this game, because you can't have all 22 starters playing the entire game. Michigan's bench and their depth is so much better than Oklahoma's. I got Michigan easily outright, my dog of the day, and I won't be surprised if they win this game by 2 touchdowns.
Road Dog in the chat has them by 9. And in case anyone's wondering, because when I hear something like that, I start thinking a little bit, no, and that's dangerous.
You thinking? Yeah,
I know, dude. Fuck. Wolverines minus 8.5 at plus 359. And then minus the 9 at plus 375. So
yeah, have a little fun with your Saturday.
a little Saturday for myself. I'm on Michigan as well, plus that 5.5. I like what you said there, Noah. And I always feel like when teams are in the news a lot, they fires them up. Like, oh, see, they just want to talk about us because of what we allegedly did. Let's go show them and give them a reason to really talk about us.
Oh, I hate Michigan. Don't get me wrong.
I know you do. I know you do. I'm not saying you're a Michigan man now. I'm not saying anything like that, Noah. Not putting that evil on you, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, no, fuck them. But I think they win this game comfortably.
Fair. Totally fair. All right. As I try to find the next game because of my sportsbook reset, which is always so nice of them. Like, I can't complain about ESPN signing me out all the time anymore, so I got to find something else to complain about,
Yeah, they did kind of fix that, right? You don't have to. It doesn't prompt you to sign in through the My Disney almost every fucking time now.
No, and there's a UFC fight coming up in December that I'm actually interested in watching. I might buy it instead of illegally streaming it, Noah, because I am confident that it's not going to crash or ask me to sign in 5 times during the fight. I literally only time since they changed it over. I signed in 1 time when they changed the app over, and they haven't asked me to sign in again. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And I watched it on my computer too, and freaking wild. Anyway, Um, Vanderbilt, Virginia Tech, 1.5 point, 2 point favorites here now. Excuse me, -130 on the money line. 45 is the total. Noah, reports have confirmed that Sandman will be played at the game tonight. I don't know if you were worried about that, but just in case you needed confirmation.
Sorry, you just cut out for just a split second there for me. What'd you say?
Nothing. I was making a really bad joke. Noah, probably the best that you didn't hear it. Virginia Tech,
Oh,
Vanderbilt. Who do you got in this one?
oh, do you even have to ask, man? I am a sworn, tried, true believer since before many people were last season in Diego Pavia and what this Vanderbilt program is doing right now, the direction they are moving in. Give me Vandy on the money line, baby. Taking care of business on the road. I'm here for it.
Yeah, the best thing about Virginia Tech's team right now is their entrance, enter Sandman. So yeah, give me Vandy on the money line. Let's have ourselves a Saturday, boys.
Hell yeah.
Um, One team that we don't get to shit on enough, Noah, and I love seeing them on our roster. UCLA going up against UNLV. UNLV 1.5 point dogs at home. 55 is the total here. How are you feeling about this one?
I think UNLV's not quite up to where they were last season. We've talked about that already this season. I think they're fine. I don't have a problem with the spread being as close to even as it is. However, I got zero faith in UCLA and Nico. I don't even remember how to pronounce your name anymore because
Iamaya Valeva.
you cut me off. I was going to say because you're so irrelevant that I erased that precious space in my memory for something else that matters more. Um, yeah, that dude's more of a distraction than a benefit by a country mile. I don't know. I don't know. Is Utah back? Maybe, maybe not. Is UCLA just really that fucking bad? They got absolutely shellacked in week one. And I'm not saying that UNLV is what Utah is, but UNLV is a program, knows how to win games. And I think they take care of business at home as a slight underdog. Another one of those where I'm not going to be overly surprised either if UNLV's winning this game by 8, 10, 12, 14 points.
Yeah, no. UCLA's bad. Nika's not a good quarterback. He wanted to secure that bag because he knows he ain't making it to the NFL. So UNLV money line, book it. Let's go. Last game that we got on our slate, Noah, and then we'll go into a rapid fire top 25. We've got Stanford going up against BYU. BYU 20.5 point favorites. Up 2 points from the 18.5 I had it at earlier. 44.5 now is the total. Excuse me. And how do I say this politely? The game day, college game day, to start the in the first hour or beginning of the second hour, did a really nice piece on Andrew Luck, the GM over there, and his football story and everything, and how much Stanford means to him and how badly he wants to help this team and grow this team. And I have no doubt in my mind that Andrew Luck will do everything in his power to make this a winning football team in the next 15 years, maybe. There ain't a light at the end of the tunnel right now, and it sure as hell ain't going to happen this season. Give me the BYU Mormons minus 20.5. Might have some fun and see if it'll let me take Road Dogs' exact score of 69-0, and we'll have ourselves a day.
Yeah, man. BYU, I don't really know. I mean, they played 3 to 4 roster spots deep there and put up a lot of points, but they also played Portland State. That doesn't really tell me much. Hawaii or Stanford obviously losing in tough fashion against Hawaii. Did they play last week?
I think they had the bye because they played Hawaii.
I was going to say they might have been one of the few teams that they did not play a week 1 game after playing in week 0. Devastating defeat there in week 0 after having a field goal blocked and then getting one kicked on you on the other end. And then I thought, maybe Hawaii is just pretty decent. And they had me scared because I have little faith in U of A's football program. So they had me
Little.
scared last week. I was like, oh, this is a game that we should win, but it could be losable. And then we came out and just blew their fucking socks off. No, I think Stanford's the worst power conference team in FBS football.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's probably at least 15 or 20, maybe 30 group of 5 teams I'd be confident in beating Stanford. They're really, really bad. They may be, well, after seeing Purdue in week 1, I think, I'm not going to say maybe, I think Purdue is better than Stanford.
For
As
sure.
bad as they were last year. Yeah, Stanford, hey, somebody's got to be the worst every year. You just get the luck of doing it. Again, BYU still a little bit of a question mark for me with what that offense is going to truly look like when we get into competition. But luckily for them, I think it's going to be a second week in a row where they don't really have to show a lot of their playbook to get the job done. 20.5, sure, I'll take it. If this was 10 points higher of a spread, I might pick Stanford as like a sneaky cover.
Yeah.
Because I don't think this is going to be a 40, 50-point game. But I do think BYU wins by 3+ touchdowns. So
that's fair.
I'll take that. I'm gonna stay off of that over under. It is it is very low. It's very it's a very seductive over under if you're looking at the over. However, then the more I look at it, the more I'm like, oh, I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, this total is, has been looking at you from the end of the bar all night in a little black dress, and you're like not interested at all. You just wanted to have some beers with the boys, and then your buddy makes you take a Jaeger bomb and shit. I get it, dude. I get it. I get it. Anyway, that is our slate that we put together, our favorite games of the week, well, that Noah puts together, and that we pick again. So we're going to do something we don't do often on here, Noah. Let's run through the top 25, the teams that will be playing, that are in the top 25 that will be playing. Just quick fire picks, a lot of big spreads in this one with a lot of these higher ranking teams. So let's get into it. To start it off, we got FIU going up against Penn State at home, 41.5 favorites is Penn State, 53.5 is the total, Noah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably be on Penn State minus 41.5. Only thing that makes me nervous about that is James Franklin doesn't seem to be a guy who usually runs the scores up into the 50s, 60s, 70s. So
yeah, exactly.
Could very, very well be one that's 42-3 Penn State, and then FIU gets the cover for their one field goal by putting 3 points up on the board.
I'm with you there, but I'll roll the dice with Penn State as well. Give me that minus 41.5. San Jose State, Texas, 37.5, 51.5 is the total. Now, Franklin might not run up the score, but we're in a situation where I think Sark needs to run up the score if they can against the San Jose State team. Get that confidence built in Arch and have him play out the whole game and just throw bombs and get that confidence going to start. Give me Texas minus 37.5.
Yeah, unlucky for San Jose State is they have to be the suckers playing Texas in Austin off of a loss. And I think whatever a normal game would have looked like here between San Jose State and Texas, it's going to be turned up a notch. And I think Texas is going to come out with essentially something to prove. Not that it's really proving anything that you can blow out San Jose State when you were the preseason number 1. Nonetheless, I think Texas comes out and I'd probably be looking at a first half Texas spread more than the game total here. Because if I can get a first half at about 23.5, 22.5, that I'd be a little bit more inclined in looking at.
That's fair. I like that. Illinois Duke, we are both on Illinois minus that 2.5. East Texas A&M, Florida State. Florida State looks hot. They look good to go. 45 is a big number. I would stay off. I'm going to stay off of this game in general. If I have to pick a side, I'm going to take Florida State. I don't think any starters will be in past like halfway through the second quarter.
What did East A&M? Bro, that's one of my least favorite school renames. Texas A&M Commerce was so much cooler.
Yeah.
Oh, 42-13 against SMU at SMU last week. I think SMU is maybe a better team than Florida State.
Ooh.
This spread's too high for me. I'm taking East Texas A&M. I think Florida State might come out a little bit slow, riding the high of that win last week.
Fair.
I don't think it lasts for a whole game, but this is one I could totally see Florida State only winning by about 20, maybe 30 points. 45 seems entirely way too fucking high for me on this one.
I get it. Iowa State, we're both on Iowa State minus that 3.5. Baylor, SMU, we're both on SMU minus the 2.5. Kennesaw State, Indiana, 36.5 point favorites here. 50.5 is the total, Noah.
Oh, man. I think I'm on Kennesaw on this one because Signetti, as winning as Signetti has been in his tenure with Indiana, he hasn't covered a ton of spreads.
No.
They win. They win, don't get me wrong, but it feels like Indiana's got a habit of winning narrower than they should.
Yeah.
I didn't love how they looked last week, and until they can really prove that they deserve to be a powerhouse in the Big Ten, I mean, I've got them as like my probably sixth best Big Ten team after Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, Michigan, and Illinois. So I need to see Indiana prove something before I'm hanging a spread of 36.5 on them. So I'm on Kennesaw State on that one.
I get it. I'm on Kennesaw State too, plus 36.5. Just too many points there. Kent State going up against Texas Tech, 47.5 points with Texas Tech. 59.5 is the total, Noah.
Yeah, this is definitely a team that will run up the fucking score on you. And this is my preseason pick to win the Big 12 in Texas Tech. I've got a lot of faith in them. I don't love a 47.5 point spread against a MAC team specifically, who I imagine Kent State's going to come in. They're probably going to try to slow this game down. I think Texas Tech blows the brakes off of them. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's going to be by 47.5. It's always weird with these really high spreads. It's playing the game is this spread too high? And in this case, I just think Kent State's going to dictate the pace to be a little bit slower to the point where Texas Tech won't have the opportunity to run up a 50-point deficit on them.
Yeah, I'm with you right there.
Probably win by 37.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. Texas Tech, 47, Kent State 10.
Utah State, A&M. 33.5 point favorites for A&M. 57.5 is the total. Yeah, give me the Screamers, minus 33.5.
You're taking A&M to cover that?
I'll take the Yellers.
Yeah, I'm on Utah State on this one because I got no faith in fucking A&M. They're overrated every goddamn year. They didn't show up great in week one. Get the hell out of here, A&M.
I love it.
I don't think they're going to lose, but
Austin P, Georgia, 46.5 point favorites.
Oh God.
These spreads are disgusting in the top 25 this week.
Yeah, Georgia. I mean, Georgia doesn't. Again, Kirby Smart, not a guy who typically is running up scores that high. It's kind of same logic as with James Franklin, but I do think the talent disparity is just going to be enough that Georgia's probably up 30-something points by halftime. And then even Georgia's backups are going to be probably increasing that score margin. So I think with this one, I'll go on Georgia, but I don't feel comfortable with it. You know, it's not something I'm betting my hard-earned money on or anything.
Yeah, I get it. I'm with you there. I'm still going Georgia, though. Grambling, Ohio State. Grambling because I think Ohio State's not going to play any starters.
Does it say 55?
That does say 2 5s, 5-5.
Holy hell. Into the shoe. Again, another one I might be looking at a first quarter, first half type of line.
Yeah.
But those are so tricky too, especially first quarter because, one stalled drive due to some fluky, like a holding penalty and a drop ball. And then, you just don't have enough possessions to hit that. That's the hard part, right? Like Ohio State's going to blow them out. I don't think either of us are worried about that.
No.
I do think I think maybe same reason as I'm not taking Florida State minus 45 is I'll take Grambling plus the 55 just because I don't think it's like when a predator just gets bored hunting dead prey, right? They want to hunt the live prey, and so Ohio State's just going to get lulled to sleep by the mid third quarter, and they might be up 49-0 middle third quarter, end of the third quarter, but I don't know if they push that to 56 or more.
I get it. Oklahoma State, Oregon, 28.5-point favorites. Yeah, give me them Ducks.
This one's hard. I thought Oklahoma State was going to have a nice bounce back here. They did not look good in week one. They looked like they were taking over right where they left off last year.
Yeah.
Playing at the Ducks, I think unfortunately the Ducks just, as they do every year, locked and reloaded, I suppose. I'm buying this line on Oklahoma State solely because of that half-point hook there. And I might get burned for a second week in a row by Oregon. And being like, oh, that's a really high spread. But Oklahoma State, I mean, they still have talent on that roster. They've got a coach who's done it for fucking ever. I'm taking Oklahoma State to keep this within 4 touchdowns.
Ooh, okay.
I like it. Though. Not confidently.
Troy, Clemson, 30.5-point favorites in Death Valley.
Yeah, I'm going Clemson minus 30.5. I did really like the way that their defense played last week. Offense did get stifled a little bit by an LSU defense that looked a lot better than I expected. However, they are playing Troy, not LSU this week. I think just by that standpoint alone, Clemson's guys on offense are going to be bigger, stronger, faster, more athletic. And I think Cade Klubnik's going to have a hell of a game here.
I love it. I'm right there with you. Clemson all the way. Ole Miss, Kentucky. We've talked about that already. East Tennessee State, Tennessee, 41-point favorites.
Another tough one. I guess begrudgingly give me Tennessee, although I don't know because that week one game against Syracuse was really tough because a couple fluky turnovers, bad turnovers by Syracuse early gave Tennessee a 3-score lead very early on in that game.
Yeah.
They never really expanded that lead, and that actually shrunk down to the point where Syracuse maybe had a breath of life in the fourth quarter. I do think Syracuse is a good team, though, so I'm not going to knock them a ton for that. Tennessee, very opportunistic there. 41 is a number I don't really love here. I'm gonna go with Etsu here to cover 41 points. And yes, I am taking a lot of dogs. I just think a good chunk of these spreads are a little bit too high for me until Tennessee can prove it against. It's a lesser opponent than Syracuse, but I want to see continuation for Tennessee before I'm fully on board with that.
I'm with you. Give me ETSU as well. South Florida, We're both on Florida. Cal Poly, Utah, 43.5-point favorites.
I'll keep it short and sweet. This one, after what Utah did to UCLA, I think they can do even worse damage to Cal Poly at home. And they were on the road, even though UCLA games aren't true home away games, because basically a neutral site game is what I would call it when you're playing at the Rose Bowl against UCLA. But yeah, I think they can do worse damage against Cal Poly. I have no problem riding Utah at home on that spread.
Yeah, give me Utah minus 43.5. Thank you very much. Bethune-Cookman going up against the U. 55.5 points favorite.
Man. I mean, Miami looked good last week. I was surprised. And especially against that Notre Dame defense, they were kind of moving the ball just fine. Such a high spread. Such a fucking high spread. I'll ride with Miami on that. I think Cristobal's a guy who will run up the score. And he's not going to have to worry about any clock management situations in this one. So I think, oh man, such a high spread, but I'll gun to my head picking Miami on that one.
I love it. We got to get going here. South Carolina State, South Carolina 42.
we're almost done. Plus, these games aren't starting for a number of
Oh,
hours
true.
anyways. 42. Yeah, Gamecocks showed me a lot to love in week 1. I'm going to ride with that in the 42 points. I think Norris Sellers is going to just do what he does and start building his Heisman case.
I like it. 42. I'll take it as well. Louisiana Tech going up against the LSU Tigers, 36.5-point favorites.
Yeah, finally a team playing a little bit tougher of competition in Louisiana Tech. Still not like tremendous competition here. LSU, I was shocked with what they did against that Clemson defense, even though I thought Clemson's defense played really well. Nussmeier and company are going to come out here and just put up way too many points for Louisiana Tech to even fathom keeping up with. So I will go 36.5 on LSU.
I like it. I like it a lot. Arizona State, Mississippi State. You're on Arizona State. I'm on Mississippi State. Michigan, Oklahoma. We're both on Michigan. University Louisiana Monroe going up against Alabama. Alabama, 34.5-point favorites here, Noah. Don't call it a comeback because it's Alabama, and I don't think they're ever going to go away fully. Give me Alabama minus 34.5 in a big bounce back game.
Yeah, give me UL Monroe on the money line. One of
you just want Kalen DeBoer fired tomorrow?
He'll get fired at halftime in this one. No, all jokes aside, I do have UL Monroe covering 34.5 in this one, and I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. I might even buy this one down to like 21.5. Flirt with a little plus 300 something line on that. And I think there's a lot of issues with Alabama's team with Kalen DeBoer running the ship there, and it's going to come crashing down real quick. I also do think, funny enough, however many years ago, UL Monroe, one of Nick Saban's few losses to a non-Power 5 school, but magic lightning struck once for UL Monroe. They've beaten Alabama before at Bryant-Denny. How funny would that be to see it happen again?
Alabama would burn to the ground. That's what would happen probably.
Oh, yeah. DeBoer doesn't even need to get fired. He's going to get literally run out of town with torches and pitchforks.
There's going to be a protest just not letting him in the building. It's going to be a reverse, I don't know, work stoppage. Anyway.
Yeah, that is Alabama football fans aren't going to, peacefully protest that. It would be they're going to have 2 police officers out front of DeBoer's house for the next 2 nights if they lost.
For sure. Well, no, that is all I've got on college football. You got anything else before we sit back, relax, and enjoy our Saturday?
No, I just can't wait to enjoy another beautiful slate of college football.
Another beautiful slate of college football. I cannot wait. But yeah, hey, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Shout out to everyone watching here on Rumble, over on YouTube and X. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit those follow buttons. Does help us out a lot more than you know. Thanks for deciding to tune into us instead of Game Day or any of those other ones. We think we did a pretty good job. But with all that being said, enjoy your Saturday. Good luck today. Beat the book. I've been the Brofict one, AJ. That's the Money Train, Noah. We'll see you next time on Degenerate Takes.